Save the best for last. Johnny Cage training mode character breakdown. I like his player 2 costume way better. I like the black shirt and the khakis. He looks good. Don't splash a little water in there. People think you have a bathroom accident. Did play him as him in the story. That weird ass chapter 2 movie set chapter. But I thought that he moved well, and he actually has really good attacks. I liked Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 11. I thought he had tremendous strings and space control. He's missing his force ball in this game and his flip kick. So that really changes the dynamic of what he wants to do. He still has his dash kick, and he still has like this uppercut special, but he's more reliant now on just these elbows and knees and martial arts style pressure. So I'm eager to look at him for real this time. I think that he is strong, and I think that he is interesting. I did his combo challenges, and I don't really care about this star power shit, but without the force ball, and being completely reliant on his strings and his pressure tools, it forces him to get up close and like fight fast. So I like that. His dash is very good, one of the best. It almost looks like he's dash canceling it without doing it. His jump goes very high, and it's got like a tight arc to it. Yeah, I like his dash, I like his movement. A lot of people like playing as him. Let's see, 112 and 114. What's his stand one? 7 frames. I'm spoiled after Liu Kang. 1-1 is 3 frames. Let's see. Another white background stage where you can't read the hit levels. Is that double high? Can't read the hit levels. Mid, mid, mid. I like this idea of having a string on 1-1. Rather than making me switch to 1-2 or forward 1-2 or any shit like that. 1-1, give me a nice 2 hits. 1-1-2, and then 1-1-4. What's this? Is that another high? Looks like it's another high. So let's record him doing this. 1-1-4. What if I duck? What if I block the whole thing standing? I can still duck. So maybe that's like in combos only. Because 1-2-2 is mid, right? 1-1-2. Mid. Alright, no big deal. What, let's see if he has an armor special. Has invincibility. Down back 2. Has invincibility. That is a big difference than saying has armor. That's a big difference. Maybe he doesn't have an armor move because... Look at all these specials. Has invincibility, parries, has projectile immunity, has armor. Back forward. Alright, his kick has armor. Can't seem to get through it. Alright, we'll call it a real string. We'll call it a real string. 1-1-2 is a real string. The high can be ducked on 1-1-4. You probably wouldn't be poking with it. It's probably for combos only. Breaking backhand, forward 2. That's also a high. I see this done a lot. It's 9 frames. That's a bit weird. I see people doing this a lot. That's -4. Why would you not just want to do 1-1? 1-1 is 7 frames. And 1-1 is high mid, and it's +3. Why would you want to do forward 1? Forward 1 is slower and less safe. I see Johnnies do that all the time. Forward 1, 2, 3. So it goes into a low. That's -4. So what, though? On hit it trips. So what? Forward 1, 2. And then forward 1, 2, 4. That's an overhead that bounces. Alright, good combo string. Easily combo off it. Alright. Forward 1-2, forward dash, forward 1-2 again. Again! Damn! Forward 1-2 again. Let's do that. Forward 1-2-4. Forward 1-2-4 dash. Forward 1-2-4 dash. Forward 1-2 special attack. Boom! Not bad for nothing. So then let's do these. Let's do Forward 1, 2, 4. Seems like you might be able to interrupt just off a punch. Yeah, I can armor through that. So what about forward 1, 2, 4? I mean, damn it. Forward 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's the mix-up. That's a real string. So then maybe that's it. Maybe you do forward 1, 2, 3, and you start conditioning them to watch out for it. I mean, forward 1, 2 is -4. So we're in this situation where forward 1, 2 leads to a safe low or an overhead combo starter. What's the overhead on block? -12. Yeah, that's punishable. So they don't even need... Okay. So let's see. Forward 1, 2, 4 is an overhead. That's a combo starter, but it's punishable by anybody. So they don't even need to worry about... Well, then that completely eliminates it. They don't need to worry about wasting a bar to armor through it. They can just block and punish it. So that's not a mix-up, because they can just extremely easily... And this is so recognizable. I knew the string without even playing Johnny. Forward 1, 2. He does the sliding elbow, and then he turns around and elbows you from behind. All you have to do is block low. All you have to do is block the low, and then block the overhead on reaction. There's no mix-up there. So then it's about not doing it. And then they're at -4. All right, so now we're in this situation where they're at a disadvantage, but they're not punishable. So with -4, what happens? Something like a 7-frame stand 1 becomes 11 frames, 12 frames. Well, what do you have in 11 or 12 frames that's going to make contact with me? You know, because if all you have are highs, you have stand 1, stand 2, you have forward 1, but all of these are highs. Like, so I have room to duck underneath you. After forward 1, 2, I'm at -4, but I don't want to respect that. I want to duck and get... I have a 6-frame down jab. Look at this. I can challenge anything that's 10 frames then. This is going to start then in 10 or 11 frames. I'm crouching. It's mid. You need like a move that starts on frame 11 to challenge me. And it needs to be a mid. So if I'm Liu Kang, I could do back 2. But anybody else... Johnny's going to do forward 1, 2, and then a down 1, because he doesn't give a fuck. And you need to be able to get out of this. And but see, you're already going to be blocking low in case he does forward 1, 2, 3, which is what? -4. So why even bother doing a down 1, put you at -8, when you can just finish the string with a real low? See, this is like... You see all the capabilities and the possibilities, and you have to unravel. Is there a strategic value to this? Is there a logic to this? Forward 1, 2 is slower than his other standing highs. It's not safe. It leads to an overhead that you can block on reaction. It leads to a safe low. I like the safe low. It's a forward advancing string. I would definitely be whiffing this, right? You can use it to forward advance, make contact with the mid and whiff. Make contact with the mid and finish in the low. I like that idea. But he's not going to respect the fact that he's at... He's not going to respect the fact that he's at disadvantage. Because he's so used to being at advantage off his stand 1. Right? He's so used to being off advantage. Stand 1 +4. Forward 1 +3. Maybe that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to do forward 1, 2. He just wants to do forward 1. I like that idea. Did I even see his 2 strings yet? I don't think so. Just stand 1 and forward 1. So these situations where the character is at a disadvantage on block, but not enough to punish, and they don't respect their disadvantage. They crouch underneath your highs, and they do a low move that, even with disadvantage, is still fast enough to interrupt your mids. and they make you respect them even at a disadvantage. You're not going to want to bet on armor. You're going to either need a low move that's fast enough on its own. So if you have a 9 frame down 3 or a 10 frame down 4 to like check them and interrupt them. He does forward 1-2. He does forward 1-2, he's at -4. Or he just does the low. You know, he does the low. Forward 1, 2, 3. And then he sticks out his own down 4 to try and trip any of your retaliation, right? Forward 1, 2, 3, down 4. You know? You're blocking him, you gotta poke him, and he counter hits you. Punish. So he's at -4. And he's still in range for the 6 frame down jab. You know? So, I mean, 4 frames stacked onto anything. It could be 10 or 11. It could be 13. But he's low. You either need a low move that's fast enough to interrupt his fastest move, even at a disadvantage, or you need a safe enough low of your own that's going to be able to make contact with him, like a back 4 or a down 4, provided it's safe. Because why check him with your own down 1 or your own down 3? Down 3 is punishable, down 1's disadvantaged. I think down 4 is the go-to move in that situation. They're poking low out of their own disadvantaged block string. I think down 4 is the answer. Because it's going to hit them, and if it doesn't, you're now at the same situation. It's very slight disadvantage. It'll push back. You can backdash. You can get out of there. I think that's the answer, dude. These overzealous guys, unless you have a nut punch, I think the down 4 is the answer, or maybe a back 4. Maybe a back 4. I like that idea. So anyway, I got ahead of myself. This string. Got ahead of myself with these pressure character strings. Down 1, the bee's knees. It's a 6 frame down 1. So what can we punish then? Not a lot of his stuff has been unsafe yet. What strings have been unsafe? We'll put them on block. 1, 1, 2. That's -5. And then what's 1, 1, 4? 1, 1, 4 we don't like. Forward 1. That's -4. He hasn't really done anything that's so unsafe you can test it with this. But I mean, he's got a down 1 that should be able to punish anything that's -7. So my attitude is, if you can find characters or cameo combinations where they can combo off down 1s or down 3s or down 4s, like with an enhanced special, it's always cancelable, but is it comboable? Like Havoc, his down 4 Fireball doesn't combo, but his forward 4 low step Fireball combos. So I'm curious about characters being able to find ways to truly combo off like a down 1, down 3, or down 4 hit, either with enhanced moves or cameos. Stand 2 now. It's a high. An 8 frame high. This is also going to be critical. What's the range on both of these? What's the range on both these? Maybe they have identical range. Maybe they have about identical range. It's interesting that that's 8 instead of 9. Again, it's going to lead to better combo options. If a character has something that's oddly like -9, usually what's -8, -9 is a down 1 or a down 3. -8. So a standing high is not going to help you when they're doing crouch moves. Maybe if somebody's got a standing low, that's that disadvantage. An odd move where they're like, they're in a standing state and they're at -8 or -9. Maybe his stand 2 could punish. Of course his stand 1 might be able to as well. Stand 2, 1, 2. This is another thing I see a lot. So you're going to have to recognize their moves visually. You don't need to know the button combos. And you don't even need to know the frame data. You just need to know the hit levels and what you're allowed to do afterwards. So this is, again, just like I recognize visually his forward 1, 2, I recognize visually his 2, 1. It's high mid, I recognize that like big swinging haymaker hook that he does, that's stepping forward. I recognize that. And then he has an overhead hit. So stand 2 is very fast. The other thing with them having faster down 1s and faster stand 2s than normal is that if you're in a situation versus somebody and you both have this idea to do a down 1, he's going to win because he's faster. It's not necessarily who's at disadvantage. It's like who might be able to start sooner. He's got an extra frame to start, an extra frame to press his button later. 2-1-2, -6. Overhead. And it's high mid overhead. That's very good. You might even want to swing that more than 1-1-2. I don't know, 1-1. 1-1 is so advantaged. So I like his 1-1, forward 1, stand 2-1-2. That's the overhead you should be using. What about on hit? Does it just knock down? No, that's a combo as well. That's so fucked up. Damn, look at these easy combos. 2-1-2 dash. Jesus. Damn it. 2-1-2. That's, I mean, almost 300 damage for 2 strings and a fucking corner combo. Corner carry. 2-1-4. What is this? A nice low check? What is that? -8. So he could punish this then. He could punish this because he's standing. Let's see that. 2-1-4 and he's standing. Stand 1 punish. Down 1 punish. Down 3 doesn't work because it's 9 frames. Stand 2 doesn't work. So stand 2 doesn't work to punish, even though it's 8 frames and he's at -8. That's why I think this frame data makes it... It kind of makes it confusing to know what's allowed. Because I think, yeah, it has 8 frames of startup, and I think it's active on the 9th frame. Because why can't it punish something that's -8? But this 7 frame move can. Look, stand 1 punishes, it says it's 7 frames, stand 2 doesn't. And the punishes are tight. What about forward 1, 9 frames? Alright. This apartment looks like Charlie Sheen's place from 2.5 Men. That spiral staircase. So, 2-1-4-4. Low overhead. What about this on block? -6. Let's check this out. 2-1-4-4. I can armor through that. Can I armor the 3rd hit? Just the low? No. So again, something you're gonna have to get used to recognizing his strings visually. 1-1 is this like fist clasp elbow. Forward 1 is this lunging elbow, double elbow. Stand 2-1 is this haymaker fist into the overhead. What other overhead did he have? Because he's got 1-1-2 that knocks down. 1-1-4 that's this big overhead. You don't. That's not even overhead. That's just a mid. So never do that, other than in a combo. I think 1-1-4 you can just duck and punish. So who cares? But I mean 1-1-2 is good. And then forward 1-2 can either go forward 1-2-4 into the overhead or into the low. So you're just gonna have to, like, I don't know, do you want to automatically start crouch blocking because he's got these nice lows? He already has so many strings. 1-1-2 is advantaged and safe. Forward 1-2 is that sliding elbow that goes into a low or an overhead. But at least the overhead's punishable on blocks, so you don't have to really worry too much about that. Then he has 2-1-2. So again, visually recognizing 1-1 for what it is and knowing where it can lead. 1-1 can only lead to a mid. Forward 1-2 can lead to a low or an overhead, but it's punishable. And then 2-1 leads to an overhead that's safe, and I may need to armor through it. Can you armor through that? 2-1-2. Yeah. And then he also has... So 2-1-2 and 2-1-4-4 can both be armored. So then recognizing that... You see what I'm saying? Recognizing the difference between 1-1 and 2-1, or forward 1, forward 1-2, they're these super visually recognizable strings. So being able to say, oh, that like haymaker step forward punch, that's his 2-1. It starts off as 2, which is 8 or 9 frames. It leads to a safe overhead, but it also has a low option. It can be armored. Like, there's all these things that you need to recognize, like, oh, he did that weird double sliding elbow move. That's his forward 1-2. That has a low ender, and it has an overhead, but the overhead is visually blockable, and it's safe. So, oh shit, I better be blocking low against this. And then I'll just stand and block the overhead and punish. You know? Or, oh, he did his 2-1 string. I better watch for the overhead there. I don't really mind taking the low. That's not a big deal. Because it's like, I gotta remember that he has a low out of that. But he also has an overhead. So let's see. You would do this. Let's see. You would do 2-1-4. And then you would also do 2-1-2. And then you would set it to reset on playback. Reset after recording finishes, and you set it to random hidden. And you do this. This is how you test. Oh, you don't want reset playback. And you just test it. Damn, I got hit there because I'm looking for the low. Did it do it? I don't know if it's ever going to do it. Random hidden. I hope I didn't record over both. Let's see. Right stick, auto, random hidden. Let's see, how do I clear these? Cancel changes, default. Let's see how we test this. 2-1-2. And then 2-1-4. Opponent type. Random hidden. Alright, he got the low. Unless it's true random. There we go. There we go. So a nice test. I was late there. I saw it but was late to let off down. That's tough. Because you really have to make sure to hold down long enough. You really have to make sure to hold down long enough in order to block the low. But you can't let off too late. I'm letting off early for the low and almost getting hit by it, and then I'm letting off late for the overhead, and I'm seeing it. So like I'm actually not seeing the low and letting off low early, and then I'm seeing the overhead and letting off it late. So I'm kind of getting lazy there. That's pretty interesting. So what does it do? Auto, random, you do auto. So that concept of being able to visually recognize moves, recognize what the button inputs are, recognize what the startup and the safety is, and then recognize what these strings can transition to is going to be critical to you making decisions on the fly. Because like 1-1, that's pretty easy. Forward 1-2, that's also pretty easy. You know, block low, but then it's 2-1 string. So this is basically a 9-frame move that's also advantaged. 2-1, 11 frames -1. With that, when something is only like neutral or -1, I mean, it's tough to be frame perfect anyhow. It's -8, and I need to make sure to hit my 8-frame move to punish. Like, if you're 1 frame too late in buffering your punish, it's not going to count. Or if you're 1 frame too late and trying to challenge a disadvantage or a gap in a string, the other guy pressing buttons sloppily is still going to activate his move and counter hit or trade with you because you were not perfect to like input this punish that you know is mathematically allowed. So being able to visually recognize these moves, oh, that's that double elbow. It can transition into a low or an overhead, or he's saying, oh damn, he did the standing haymaker punch. I better watch the overhead on that one, or should I try and fuzzy guard like he does 2-1? Should I try and fuzzy guard the low? Should I start blocking low and then look for the overhead? And then he has the double low that he can also finish it into 2-1 into a low and then another overhead. So now what about this one? 2-1-4-4, and that overhead is safe as well. Like, look at that. There's so much like animation stun. You see what I'm saying? There's so much animation stun you have to recover through. 33 frames of recovery on that fucking overhead kick after 22 frames of startup, but it's still at -6. So even if you know, like, I know I can't punish him, but I want to challenge him with something, you're still stuck in block stun for so fucking long. And I want to do it down 1. It takes forever just to initiate it. Damn it, flipped it from me. Now, how do I erase both these? Toggle playback. Aha! So that's interesting. His 2-1-4-4 then ends in another overhead, which is still safe, and has tremendous recovery animation frames and makes it take forever to explain a move list. Back to... I've never seen this before in my life. It's a mid. 19-frame mid. Is that unblockable? No way. It's a mid. Charge, Gutbuster, hold. When fully charged, victim slowly collapses to the ground. Look, he's not blocking it. Boom. What's going on here? I can block it. Why isn't he blocking it before? That's blockable. What the hell's going on? Yeah, that's so strange. I don't know why. What's going on with this training mode? He like doesn't want to. He's on auto block. Weird. Fucking weird. All right. So Gutbuster back to. I don't know what the point of that is. Can't even get active framed in on it. Minus. Is that a mid? It's a mid hit. Doesn't he have another starting mid? Forward 1, stand 1, 2. I don't know. That seems whack. Back 2. Forget it. Down 2 is 8 frames, so it can challenge 9-frame things. So he can easily do a down 2 underneath anybody's like stand 2. That's interesting. 8-frame down 2. I don't know if it'd be good enough to punish something that's -9. Like maybe, could Johnny get a down 2 punish on something that's -9 and it's a crouch move? Some characters have -9 down 3s. I wonder if you could punish them with a down 2 instead of just checking them with another low. But this is a high, so probably not. Probably not because it's high. He could challenge. He could use his down 2 to challenge a lot of... That's what he could do. He could use his down 2 to challenge a lot of stand 2s. If people's stand 2s are like starting in 9 frames or 10 frames, and he's coming out of a disadvantage from a crouch using a faster down 2, he might be able to uppercut a lot of people's standing highs from a disadvantage. Rather than trying to interrupt them with his own standing move, it would be better to duck their initial high hit and uppercut them, both because you're crouching and because you're faster. So, I mean, yeah, maybe he's got a good uppercut, being as fast as it is. Stand 3-3. He does seem incredibly strong. And he seems more interesting and fun than stupid Kenshi. Sometimes strong characters are boring, but Johnny seems cool in this game. Maybe it's because they took away his force ball. And they put him in real clothes, and it's like, you're going to have to fight your way out of this. And he's very fast. He's this, like, yeah, up close. Yeah, he's not like a poking footsie character. He really is this fucking pressure character. But he has to be, because he's got no tools. He's got to throw these kicks and punches and elbows. He's got nothing to do but fight. That's pretty interesting. Everything is so advantaged. He's also inordinately safe. What is that? That's an overhead? Ooh. That's an overhead. I can't believe that. It slams down, though. You don't really have to be so afraid of this. I can't interrupt it. Fuck. Alright, stand 3-3, overhead string, yet another safe thing. Back 3 is his big mid launcher. That's totally unsafe, so it's a mid hit, but it's totally unsafe. So that's probably for combos only. I don't know, can you special cancel that? That's kind of weird. And you can get 2. Alright, yeah, so you can recover and yeah, corner combo. You can recover and get something off that. Not bad. Back 3, decent mid launcher, 4 combos only. Didn't his 1-1-4 that throws backward in the corner, so that might be for that might be like a nice corner ender. Let's see real quick. 1-1-4. I don't know. You can't really get anything off that, even in the corner. So back 3, forward 3, 2-1 is knee. 9 frames. It's a 9-frame mid. -5. At least he can't really fucking abuse you with this. Forward 3-2. Another double mid. -4. Okay, this is another thing you recognize. See, this is what I'm saying. Being able to visually recognize what he's doing, say like, oh, that's his 3-2 string. It's a mid-mid string. It's so fast to start. It's so unsafe on block. It can lead to this hit level or that hit level. It can be special canceled. That's the thing too. If he's got special cancels that are safe, it's going to get trickier. So far I like his 1-1, his forward 1-2, 2-1-2. I don't really like his 2-1-4-4. Just like that's funny. I like his 2-1-2 for the overhead, and I like his forward 1-2-3 for the low. That's pretty interesting, because some are safe and not punishable. We have the stand 3 overhead, the back 3 launch, forward 3-2-1, forward 3-2-1, and it's a triple mid. And they get more and more unsafe. -5, -4, -6. Forward, what is this? It's a mid, it's 9 frames. Forward 3-2-1. What's the deal with this? It's even worth testing. Flawless block. I can't get through it. It's even worth testing the first 2 hits in a string, not just the 3rd hit. Sometimes you'll see a gap there, like in Rain. I think there's another character, maybe Havoc. I can't remember. So, now here's what's interesting. He has forward 3-2-1, but he also has forward 3-4. So if he's already done forward 3-2, it's not as though he gets 2 different variations off of the same string. If he's already committed to forward 3-2, he doesn't have access to forward 4. So unlike these other strings where it's like, oh, is he going to do 1, 1, 2 or 3? Is he going to do forward 1, 2, 3 or 4? Is he going to do 2, 1, 2 or 4? Like all these other strings have these potential mix-ups where it's like, even by the second hit, you can't tell what third hit he's going to do. This one is unique in that forward 3, 2 is already, it's the only route that he can take through the string. So this knee, what does that lead to? It leads to another overhead that's very slow. It's -6. Let's see this. Opponent type. And you can armor that. So it seems like all his overheads can be armored, and then you'll have to figure out what strings lead to overheads that are punishable, rather than trying to guess on armoring them. And that's where it's going to become so critical to visually confirm 1, 1. I guess 1, 1 is kind of whatever. Because that's not even... Is that an overhead or is that just a mid? That's just a mid. So don't really worry about his 1, 1 string, but like... Forward 1, 2 is really important to be able to visually recognize, oh, he's got a low and then an overhead I can block. 2, 1, 4 is like... See, look at this. I mean, look at this. You're really going to have to know. Forward 1, 2, that sliding double elbow. He's got that overhead combo starter, but it's unsafe. So watch the low as well. And then 2, 1, this standing swinging punch, and then he's got that standing low kick that then has another overhead follow-up and his own overhead variation. And this shit is safe. So like, what is his shadow kick on block? -18. So that's tough. For these characters that have these combo starting lower overhead strings that are also safe on block, your only option is to try and retaliate by betting on armor. That's really tough on you, because it's like, why should I bet on armor and be wrong when it's like that? It's like, I'll bet on armor, be wrong, and then lose the bar and get punished. That's worse than betting wrong on blocking the mix-up and getting juggled. It's bad enough he's got a true mix-up string that leads to a combo, not just like a knockdown or a sweep off a lower overhead. It leads to a combo, and it's safe on block. And now I got to guess a bar to try and beat it. It'd be bad enough guessing which way to block incorrectly and getting comboed. So in that situation, why risk the bar? Why not just try and block and at least try and retaliate, maybe go for a throw or something? I don't know, he could uppercut you. I don't know. This guy seems like a real asshole. That's probably part of his character. He gets whatever he wants. I would say in situations like that, where these moves that have an armor gap are still so safe anyway, it might be worth it just to let them do the string. But I don't know. I don't know. How confident are you in your ability to intuit a reversal? Forward. So forward 3, 1, 2. I don't really care about it. It's just a mid string. Who cares? And then forward 3, 4 is another safe overhead. I'd be doing this all day long. Like, how are you going to retaliate against something that's just like -4, -5? Not really 6, 7, 8. That there's like these 2 degrees of, there's so minus that it's punishable, you can at least get a low hit or a standing hit. Then there's, it's so disadvantaged, they know they can't follow up with anything. They're going to get interrupted. Either with the high string, because it's gonna, they're standing, they can't duck it, or the mid's gonna come out, they can't low poke out of a disadvantage and hit me. They're -8, they're -7, maybe even -6. But then you get into this territory of -5, 4, 3. Never mind something that's -2, 1, neutral, or advantage. Where it's like there's these degrees of, they don't have to respect their disadvantage anymore. And you want to be able to take them out of their game. Because he'll do these mix-up strings all day long on you. Not caring that there's netcode, not caring that he's at minus, not caring that you don't know the frame data. He doesn't care. You got to make him care. Down 3. 9 frames. -8. -8. Would have been more interesting if it was -9 to see if I could punish him with something. That's interesting. He's got like an 8 or 9 frame stand 2 or down 2. Down 3. What was I looking at? 9 frames, -8. And so it's not even -9. So the best you're going to get is a down 1 against him. He has a down 3 that can't even be punished with most people's down 3. That sucks. -8. Did they really think that he needed all this after they took his fireball away? Safe strings, overhead combo starters. Because, I mean, he lost his fireball. 2-2. That's weird. High mid. +15. Let's see this. 4-4. I can interrupt it on block. I could just interrupt that with like anything. How fast does it need to be? What is his stand 1? His stand 1 is like 7, 8 frames. Down 1 is 6. What about a down 2? It seems easier to interrupt when you crouch block. It seems easier to interrupt when you crouch block. And of course you could be ducking. It's weird to time. What's the slowest move I have? Does his stand 2 work? That's 8 frames, they say. What about his down 3? Let's try and get a down 3 in here. Down 3. Cause that, well, that's a mid kick. So I get 9, 10 frames to beat him. What about a down 4? Counter hit. Well, if you can get a stand 1, that's a punish anyway. So stand 1, or depending on what stand 1 or 2 you have, you could just punish that. Okay, so that's worthless. At least, what does he have? Stand 3-3 is an overhead. 4-4 is terrible. It's junk. Maybe off a cameo. Maybe off a cameo ambush you could set up a super advantage, +15. Back 4, 4, 4, down 4. Back 4. Another nice sweep. Everybody's sweeps seem good. They all seem incredibly safe and fast. It's a crouching sweep. That's critically important. I don't like these standing sweeps or these sweeps that use their fist while they're standing. I think that's dumb. So he's got a great sweep. He's got a down 4. Typical 10 frames of startup, -6. Typical down 4, but it's got great range. Does it have better range than his down 3? No, it doesn't. His down 3 is the farthest. Maybe he's the rare character that's got a really good down 3. I mean, -8, somebody could punish that with a down 1. Yeah, I don't know. I think that his down 3 should be -9 and be full punishable. And then forward 4. Forward 4 is just yet as if he didn't have enough overheads. So the trick with Johnny is going to be the fact that all of his strings advance forward very much. They look very similar, and they're all just these weird forward advancing slip and slide punch strings. They all end in overheads that combo, and they're all safe. Like, the strings of his that are mediocre end in mids, and you wouldn't do them anyway. And the only one that he has that's unsafe is, what was it? What was his unsafe one? Forward 1, 2, 4. That's like the only one that he has. And that's, nah, you can still armor that, because the second hit doesn't come out in time, it interrupts. I was going to say it'd be crazy if there was a gap, but because it has 2 hits, it would beat an armor move. That'd be fucked up. But I don't think that it does. So the only moves that he has that are not very strong are like these random mid strings, and you could just use an overhead string. And he only has like one overhead that's punishable. Forward 1, 2, 4. Everything else, it seems safe. 2-1-2, super safe. 3-3, super safe, -5. And then forward 3-4. I forgot about that one. 4-3-4, 3-3, forward 4, 2-1-2. And then if you really wanted, 2-1-4-4. Even that's a safe overhead. So pretty much only his forward 1-4 Forward 1, 2, 4 slide. Only that fucking elbow move is like all you need. 2, 1, forward 1, 2. Forward 3, the knee. Weird. So if you saw that, could you interrupt it? Try and interrupt it visually. I mean, it's 28 frames. Yeah, just do a stand 1. You kind of need to condition yourself. It was sort of like in Street Fighter 6. I kind of had to condition myself to just start checking people with a stand 1 or a stand jab or a down jab. Stuff like Blanca's command throw where he leaps at you. That's 31 frames. Or a drive impact or something. Smashing the button whether you can cancel out of your normal or not. So let's see. He has his overhead. Now his jump strings. Jump strings. Jump 1, 2, 4. Can you do a double jump string? Wow, 1, 2 makes him drop like instantly. What the hell? Jump 1, 2 makes him drop like instantly. Whoa. You can get a forward 3, knee. 1, 2, 4, 3, 2. Jump 1, 2. You can get a stand 1. Let's do mid-screen. Jump 1, 2, forward 1. Whoa, he drops instantly. That's crazy. Alright, so he doesn't jump 1, 2. He can't connect with his stand 2. What about with his stand 3? No. What about with his stand 4? Yeah, weird. Stand 4, that's kind of like the only thing we haven't looked at. Did I even look at that? Just stand 4. John kick. He has 2. Oh, that's why. Because I was like, what the fuck is this thing? This weird mid. But I think regular stand 4 for like a combo. Why not? Jump 1, 2. I mean, why not? Maybe that would be a good anti-air thing. Stand 4? No. Doesn't seem like if they're walking you down. I was gonna see, could I do stand 4 into nut punch? Like, would that be a decent anti-air? Oh no, they're gonna flip out. I was gonna say, like, maybe that would be a concept for an anti-air. They're trying to get you to use these like standing kicks because maybe they don't reach as high and thin as a down 2, but they reach forward in front of you. So I was like, maybe stand 4 might work into nut punch, like, but they get juggled and the punch whiffs. So his jump 1, 2 series like drops him down, and then you can get a stand 1, a forward 1, or a forward 3, and then jump 1, 2, 4 pushes him back, and then he has jump 2, 2, 4. Jump 2. His jump 1 extends in front, and his jump 2 kind of smacks downward a little bit. It's kind of, so I like his jump 2. That works. Jump 2, 4. Can you follow up that? You can get a stand 1 after that. Jump 2, 4. Get stand 1 after that. What about a forward 3? No. Jump 2, 1. Forward 1? No. So maybe stand 1 is just going to be your go-to off-air combos. That's tough to get. Well, that works. 2, 4, 4. It really bounces them. That's in the corner though. Alright, jump 2, 4, 4 into 4, 3. That works. What about stand 2? He looks like he's on the ground a little bit. I might just be high though. That's the other thing too. Like, the air series doesn't compensate for the height. Like if I'm above them, you see what I mean? Some of these air series that pop them up higher, I could dash under him. So you can do jump 2, 4, 4, and then dash, and then land and get something. You can basically get whatever you want. 2-1-2. Cool. Jump 2-4-4 dash 2-1-2. Nice. Yeah, because it's like, I'll hit him. He's at the peak of his jump, and I'm hitting him on my way up. But what about if, like, he's coming down, you know? And I'm, like, right in line with him? That's going to be tougher. Forward 1. So 2-4-4 is a pretty good string because you can dash forward. 1-1, that works. 2-4-4. 2-1 works. I think forward 1 works, but it's just tougher. To get a forward dash, it's like you do a normal, and then you have to hit forward 4 to get the dash, and then you have to continue holding forward to get the command normal. So like jump 2-4-4, forward dash, hold forward and get a forward 1, or likewise a forward 3 knee. But they all work. They all work. You can build combos off that from there. So I like that. His 2-1 drops down and gives him a stand 1. And let's see, his 2-1, like 1-2 he drops down, and then you can get like a stand 1. It's kind of weird. Can you get a forward 1 or forward 4? You can get stand 1 off jump 2-1. Can you get a forward 1? Yeah, sometimes. That's way less consistent though. And then sometimes you're still in the air landing and you don't get your normal at the earliest possible frame on the way down. So I would say jump 2-4-4 is way better. You have way more room to do stuff. You can forward dash and do any standing normal you want. So I like that. All right, let's look at his specials and be done with this asshole already. Back to down 1, ball buster. So let's put him standing. Let's put him standing. Back to down nut punch. It leads to a mid. I don't know. It's minus 23, but he's crouching. What kind of a punish can you get off that? And he has to stand up afterwards. So you can get a forward advancing 1-2. You see that forward 1? What's forward 1? 9 frames. So any type of forward advancing move, like I was saying with Reptile, his forward 3-1 advances forward. Johnny's, like, look, if I try and do stand 1-1, I'm not going to reach. What about 2-1? I'm not going to reach, even though he has to stand up. So you want to do forward 1-2, and then you'll get him. And then that would be a good case for forward 1-2-4. Even though it's an unsafe overhead, it's a good juggle for a guaranteed punish. Cool. So forward 1, you could do that. Or anything else. Anything else to your heart's content. What's the enhanced one? Has invincibility, costs 2 bars. What does this mean, has invincibility? So maybe that's a counter. So if I do like so something that has a gap. So you could almost use his invincible nut punch as like a less risky armor move. Well, it's actually more risky because it's more unsafe than most armor moves, and it costs 2 bars. But it has invincibility, not armor. So invincibility means it can absorb infinite hits, I guess. And rather than armor just absorbing 1 hit. It also is low. What does height mean? Built up height meter. So his nut punch is also, I guess it crouches. It hits mid, but it's a crouching move. So if do I have 2 highs? Does he have any strings that are 2 highs? Does he have any strings that are 2 highs? Let's see a move list. Double high. I felt that he did. Overhead low. Mid. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't. But I mean, you could probably use that to go under. You could probably use that to go under highs. Let's just do his 1-1. Maybe I'll have him do down 1, stand 1. So again, out of a disadvantage, that could be something else that he does. Out of a disadvantaged string, oh, what an asshole. Out of a disadvantaged string, he could be doing like forward 1-2. He could combo into, I mean, he can't really combo into it. He could try and use this nut punch. He can let the string finish on a disadvantage and then go into nut punch and maybe beat a high. That's going to be like, what if he does this? He does forward 1-2, raw nut punch, not even a cancel. And I block that, and then I try and, you're going to have to do like, you're going to have to do a low. I counter hit him. All right. Not a lot of time left. Show off is down back. What is this? Is that his parry? I'm to speed run these special moves. Parries high and mid attacks. Okay, throwing shade. What is this? He has some stupid goofball projectile. Rising star. That's his uppercut. I think you can combo off that. Costs 1 bar. What about the enhanced version? Yeah, you can do an air string. So, Rising Star, can I do 2-4-4? That doesn't really work. So you can just do enhanced Rising Star, jump 2, and then forward dash into a real string. Shadow dash. This switches sides, down forward 3 switches sides, but it has no projectile or attack invulnerability, so I don't know why you're really... The enhanced version has projectile immunity. Okay, that's useful. You can extend it. His shadow kick, of course, his best ender, and his enhanced version has armor. That's also, yeah, it's like that's also something you'd want to do. If you want to get through a projectile and you want to do Shadow Dash, down forward enhanced 3, why not just do Shadow Kick? And it's an armor move, and it's going to go through all attacks, not just projectiles, and it'll hit them. I don't know why you would have some type of an attack like he's going to throw this, and you're going to be like, oh, let me go through the projectile and punish them standing. You see the projectile, either you make a read on a projectile or you react to the projectile, and you feel it's worth spending a bar to phase through the projectile and then try and punish them. Why not just Shadow Kick? What's the distance? What's the distance? I mean, Shadow Kick at least makes contact. I don't know. And then he has hype and wowing out. So the thing is, a lot of his special attacks, if you hold flip stance afterwards, he builds hype. He doesn't build hype, he uses hype? What about that? Maybe when you have... Oh, when you're built up. I don't know. I have it. Now I'm hyped up. I don't know. These moves don't... He has the ability to cancel multiple specials into themselves, which I don't really find that exciting. I'm not really worried about his hype meter combos. That's not the point of this video. I just want to see what this idea of when he's in hype. Usually it's that after the move, he holds flip stance and then he builds hype. I don't know why that's not working. I don't know why that's not working. Maybe it just says, look, R2 builds hype. Rising Star builds hype. But anyway, he's a cheap asshole. He has 1,000,001 safe strings that lead to combos off overheads and the like. He has armor. He's faster startup on everything. He's the star of the show, Johnny Cage.